Is there a way that we can handle this that would be more akin to how we might imagine Christ would handle it? Otherwise, what's the point of Christianity?
Do you think Jesus was never angry? Well, you should have seen him beat up those people in the temple for turning his father's house into a marketplace. I think Russell Brand uses the phrase heated debate pretty loosely. That was in the title he gave to his recent upload on YouTube where he had a conversation with Jordan Peterson. And spoiler alert, it wasn't a heated debate. No, it wasn't. It was clickbait. Right? But who am I to judge? I mean, I'm the blackest spot in the kitchen when it comes to clickbait. We are all content creators on YouTube and sometimes we just have to. But I think this adds to the long list of words Russell Brand uses loosely. He does. And it includes words like love, beautiful, and compassion. And for me, when I hear words used the way he used them, those kind of words, when I hear him use them that way, it often raises the question, what do these words mean actually? Like compassion, for example. What does compassion mean? Right? If we don't want to overcomplicate things, we can simply say compassion is a strong feeling of sympathy for the suffering of others and wishing to help them. But in society today, showing compassion for one person might mean ignoring the suffering of another person. Okay, let's say for example, a drunk driver kills a mother in a ghastly car accident. Now, should we show compassion to the family of the deceased by bringing justice to bear on the drunk driver? Or should we be compassionate towards the drunk driver who is probably going through a rough time in his life? Maybe he's having a serious rough patch. His wife may have left him. He may have lost his job. Maybe he lost a loved one. So many bad things are happening and they led him to this terrible point in his life where he made a very bad choice that has led to this kind of situation and has compounded his trouble. Should we even compound it even more by sending him to prison? What does compassion look like in such a situation? Which isn't uncommon, by the way. But let me give you a common scenario which we see in the news every now and then. What does compassion look like for a trans athlete? Should we recognize their struggle with identity and validate them by allowing them to compete with other cisgender athletes who they may have some biological advantages over? Or should we be compassionate to the cisgender athlete whose opportunity in sports will get obliterated with brute force by a contender who has a massive advantage over them? So what does compassion look like in this situation? Whose struggle and whose suffering should we consider? And I think this question of compassion was the crux of the heated debate between Jordan Peterson and Russell Brand, which began with this question about Jordan's infamous Elliot Page tweet. Take a look.
When it becomes an outward strike of like, this person should not have done this thing, this is the impact of these actions will have on the culture, this will lead to this kind of denigration, this will lead to decisions that are, in my view, palpably wrong. I feel that this is where we have to redress an imbalance around compassion. I feel that Elliot Page should be able to do whatever Elliot Page wants to do, and that my only role is to say, I recognise that I don't understand, and why would I understand? There are less obvious things that you could never understand about me. They're less evident and obvious, and for me, the basic principle of kindness and compassion is going to be my guide when dealing with Elliot Page and when posting something about Elliot Page. I do have recourse to the idea of, what do I want Elliot Page to feel? Happy. Accepted. That's what I want Elliot Page to feel. You know, and if there are aspects of that I don't understand, then I'm willing to take the hit.
So clearly, compassion for Russell Brand has to do with people feeling happy and accepted, right? We don't want to hurt people's feelings. For any reason, we don't. Even when we think what they are doing is dangerous to society. And I think that's like the consensus on what it means to be compassionate. You know, it's about considering other people's feelings and trying to make them feel accepted, even when we believe that what they are doing is dangerous, right? We should be compassionate. We should care about their feelings. We shouldn't try to hurt their feelings. And I think that's why Jordan Peterson gave this response. Take a look.
About Elliot Page more specifically. So the first thing I'd like to bring up is the fact that in the UK, the Tavistock Clinic was recently closed. And that was the biggest clinic doing gender transformation surgery that operated in the British world. 1,000 of the 19,000 kids have now launched a lawsuit for medical malpractice. And when Elliot Page went online and showed off his or her new chest, she or he got 1.7 million Instagram likes. So then the question is, okay, compassion. Well, you know, I think Elliot Page stepped over the line from victim to perpetrator, because when girls hit puberty, their negative emotion spikes and they develop bodily image problems, because neurotic, and that would be negative emotional experience for women, is extremely tightly tied to body image. And so if you're a girl who is undergoing the hormonal changes that are going to elevate your negative emotion, which is what happens at puberty, you're going to be focused on body image. And if you're an unpopular girl and you're awkward socially, the probability that you're going to think something's wrong with your body is almost 100% if you're female.
And herein lies the conundrum of compassion, right? You see, for Jordan Peterson, compassion, he has compassion towards the teenage girls who will be influenced by Elliot Page based on his analysis of the problem, right? But for Russell Brand, we need to care about Elliot Page and criticize her without a hint of anger. Yes, we should try to criticize and rebuke someone without a hint of anger. And here is that side of the argument from the horse's mouth. Take a look.
But the evident and palpable anger, I feel, diminishes your position, because now anger is in the conversation. I think you offer a great deal that is valuable and necessary, but I feel beyond the value and necessity of honesty, authenticity, and information that is underwritten by data and experience, I feel that it creates more opposition to approach a matter like this in the manner that you have done. What are we going to anchor ourselves to ultimately, Jordan, navigating this space? Are we going to be participants in creating more and more ossified and oppositional camps, or are we going to create cartilage between us so that we can move between a room that Jordan Peterson is in and a room that Elliot Page is in and say, look, I believe in love, and I know it's complicated. I think you're beautiful and full of love. I really believe in that. And then when I sort of hear people being dismissive of you, it upsets me. It upsets me, and I see how you arm them. I feel that you arm them by sort of, in their language, dead naming Elliot Page. And I feel like why would you do that? It isn't necessary.
So there you have it, right? Russell believes criticisms can be sweet and lovely and make people feel good about themselves, even though I don't see how that is possible, right? And as you can see, all the loosely used words came to the party. You know, love, beautiful, compassion, you name it. All of them came to the party. And then he made a mistake by asking this common question: what would Jesus do?
It's the statistics you've cited about the Tavistock Clinic appear to speak for themselves. Is there a way that we can handle this that would be more akin to how we might imagine Christ would handle it? Otherwise, what's the point of Christianity? What's the point of Christianity if we're not going to embody Christ in our behavior?
Russell, what do you think portrays Jesus as compassionate? His words or his actions? You see, Jesus understood human suffering, and he showed it by helping people. He healed the blind, the sick, the lame, and even the demon-possessed. That was how Jesus showed compassion, by doing something about people's sufferings. But when it came to his words, Jesus would be far from compassionate based on your definition. I mean, he told his disciples, "You faithless generation, how long will I be with you?" He looked at Peter in the face and told him, "Get thee behind me, Satan." He told Judas Iscariot that it would have been better if he wasn't born. You really don't understand why people wanted him dead, or why his ministry only lasted 3.5 years? I mean, why he was giving one of his famous sermons. A crowd of over 5,000 people walked out on him, and what was left was just 12 people. I don't even want to go into the distasteful things he said to the Pharisees, or when he told a woman with a sick child that he cannot take children's bread and give it to dogs. So, Russell, what do you think Jesus would say to Elliot Page? What do you think his words will be? You think they will be sweet? I'll give you a hint of something he said that addresses the situation. Here is what he said: "If anyone causes one of these little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it will be better for them if a large milestone was hung around their neck and they were thrown into the sea." So what do you think those words mean? And how would you apply them to Elliot Page showing off her newly constructed chest and the impact it will have on confused, vulnerable teenage girls? So what is compassion? Does it come from an understanding of the truth? Can we be compassionate by affirming and celebrating lies that have damaging effect on the society? Or maybe we can say, yes, that was Jordan Peterson's assessment of the situation, and you don't agree with it. Fine. But can't you see, based on Jordan's view, why anger should come into the situation? Do you think Jesus was never angry? Where you should have seen him beat up those people in the temple for turning his father's house into a marketplace. harsh criticism is not sweet, but it is necessary oftentimes, and it comes with a blend of love, concern, and anger. And you can't hold certain views. You can't hold certain views about what is going on in with this gender ideology nonsense. You can't hold those views and not be angry. You should be angry, and there's nothing wrong in turning that anger into harsh critical rebuke that is aimed at saving the lives of so many women. And I think that doesn't show a lack of compassion. It doesn't, nor does it diminish your position. In my opinion, it strengthens your message and makes it loud and clear. I mean, look around you. 10,000 children are suing a hospital for medical malpractice after they've been transitioned, and you expect Jordan Peterson to be calm about it? I mean, the kids' gloves are off. This is no longer child's play. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video, and please, if you love this video, like it, share it, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Let's get this channel to 1,000 subs. We can do it, guys. And I want to know, what do you think about the whole Elliot Page situation with Jordan Peterson? Do you think Jordan Peterson was being compassionate? Do you think what he did lacked compassion? Let me know what you think in the comment section. And until the next video, peace.